Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we celebrate authors from around the world. We provide global education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and our show today is the Corner Bookstore. Every Thursday, we welcome people who are sharing their expertise and their knowledge. And today we have a very special person who has been here with us on our platform almost from the beginning. We haven't seen him for a while, but he is Chris Woodworth, and we're going to bring him out in just a moment. Let's welcome the star of our show, DIANN FLOYD, and find out what she's been up to. Hello, DIANN.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. So you're getting that rainy weather in Florida, huh?
Yes, we are. The only thing that I love about it is it keeps the iguanas off our roof. So that's a good thing.
That's a very good thing.
How is it there in Texas?
The rain is starting to roll in, but no huge storms. So that's good. Just lovely rain for the flowers. So that always makes me happy.
Me too. Well, I know that you have an upcoming book launch. You have your second edition of Rise, A Girl's Struggle for More. It's available now on Amazon. It already has become an Amazon #1 new release. Tell us a little bit more, and then we'll bring out Chris.
Yeah, that'd be great. So yes, Ruby was requested by many people to learn more about her story. So in the background, you can see Rise, A Girl's Struggle for More there in the beautiful pink and purple. And now it's Ruby Takes Chicago. And it is a young historical fiction based on my grandmother and her journey. And I'm so excited that it made Amazon's newest young adult historical fiction #1 release. So that's really great. And Boomer, the Curious Bunny, continues to hop around and winning awards. So making a lot of children happy. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline.
Thank you, DIANN. And we'll be hearing a little bit more from Boomer later in the show. So, you know, DIANN, we were talking backstage, and this really involves Chris as well, so we're going to bring him right out. But you are an author of children's books, as am I, and I've thought so many times about doing audiobooks or doing some kind of animation, and I just don't know how to do it. I don't know anything about it. So we've got Chris with us, who is an expert. He's a British voiceover actor, very, very talented person. Let's welcome him to the show. Hello, Chris.
Hello, everyone. Good to be back. And DIANN, congratulations on the book. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. I might have to have you be Ruby's husband when I choose the audio.
Okay. All right. Let's make it happen.
Chris, you have really blossomed. I mean, not when we met before, which it had to be a year ago or more. I was really impressed with your work. Now I'm even more impressed with your setup that you have there. So tell us a little bit about your background, about how you got interested in being a voiceover actor.
Sure. I'd spent many years as an animator, basically working in computer games, and growing up, I was just that person who was constantly doing voices, doing impressions, different things like that, throwing my voice and just having fun with it. And when it came to lockdown hitting, and I found myself animating from my own living room, I was finishing off working on the video game Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. It's crazy. I finished out my own living room. I started posting a lot on social media. I discovered TikTok, and I decided to start putting bits of acting on there and showcasing my impressions. That led to a couple of acting courses that I did over Zoom. It was great, just using technology in that way. And my girlfriend, now fiance, did say to me, "I love it when you do your impressions. You should do more videos where you're dubbing over like classic movie scenes and things like that." So I started doing that, and I found myself on the audio networking app Clubhouse, where I was just interacting with lots of voice actors because I wanted to get into this, even freelance, and see how this is possible, learn the tricks of the trade. I took a couple of voice acting courses from there after I became a finalist in that contest, and I still don't fully know how that happened because I didn't even have a studio at the time. Um, but from there, my learning just continued. I voiced in a couple of students' animations, and from there, I've done like a few like corporate videos, and I narrated a video for Huawei. And I am still doing these voice acting collaboration videos where I'm actually not just doing it myself, I am voice acting with other voice actors. So it's like we're redubbing scenes from classic movies or maybe a video game or something, and we're exploring different characters, different emotions, and we're really flexing our acting as well because voice acting is acting. And so here I am today with a couple of agencies. I have an agency in New York, actually, an agent anyway, who gives me fantastic auditions. And yeah, I'm still plugging away and just staying busy, enjoying being creative. Yeah.
Congratulations, Chris. It's all coming back to me now about the Clubhouse app. And I was there in that room when you did your audition and you won. So that
Mm,
is truly amazing. And now you've got an agent in New York. You've come full circle.
mm. It's it has been a journey. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy even now thinking back to that contest because it was absolutely terrifying for everybody auditioning for it. So many people were involved, or probably hundreds of people who took part in that. And then I was one of 5 finalists. And what people had to do to start with, it was no longer than 40 seconds and they could do whatever they want, commercial, character, things like that. And I still remember almost having a bit of a panic attack when it was getting closer to me because I didn't realize how big this was. And I was just sat just in front of my phone in the living room, and I decided, look, they'll probably be horrible to me, but just showcase who you are. Just really let them know what you can do and who you are. And I remember just kind of going from Mickey Mouse, kind of light and airy, and kind of going to take Land Quagmire, and then Krusty the Clown, Peter Griffin, kind of like that, like that, and going from one to the other, and Elmo, kind of bouncing around. And then I literally hit the 40-second mark where I just stopped. And then they voted me through to, the semifinals. And wow, the good old Clubhouse days. Nostalgia.
That's
I love how you just
fantastic.
went right into different characters. That was excellent. But
Yeah.
part of what you just shared today is it's really important because during the pandemic, there weren't a lot of ways for people to get together or collaborate. And that Clubhouse app really did make an impact on many people's lives, mine as well. I was introduced to Ben Chai, a number of people who really came into my life and then helped with this platform. So kudos to you
Mhm.
for really getting fully diving in there and letting you see where it's going to take you. So we're going to go over to Diane, but a final question I have about this is what happened as a result of you winning that contest?
I had some free mentorship, some free training. It was with Marcella Chapard, who was one of the judges in the contest. Very memorable because, Marcella Chapard was known as the man with the voice. He actually sounded like that. He turns heads when he talks. And I remember just being in. I had like a 1 hour free Zoom session with him where he could introduce me to voice acting and explore my niche. And I have to tell you both, he does sound like that in real life.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Diane, over to you.
First of all, I'm going to say congratulations on your engagement. That is incredible.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. But I think what you said about, there you were in the midst of COVID and needing to connect and so forth and let your energy out. And I loved how you were so open to your fiance's suggestion, because I think it's important for our listeners and viewers to know that we just don't go and study and then everything happens. Or you think, hey man, I've studied this, I have a degree in this, la 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 la, I don't need to learn anything else. And you're actually shutting yourself off. And what I love about you is how you're open to learning. And I think that's really important in your journey. So if there's anything else you want to share on that journey to help others, that would
Yes.
be dandy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I truly believe no matter what field you're in, the learning just cannot stop. You can't just be set in your ways. You have to be open to change, really. You have to be flexible, willing to change certain things, because, life is always changing, and the industry is always changing, and you really need to constantly be sharp, to work to be the best of what you do, really. And even though my fiance, just is not involved in like acting or voice acting or something. I mean, she does have a good head on her shoulders, because she does understand emotion, feeling, intent as well, and she does have a creative mind as well. Uh, she has great ideas at times, and it was her idea for me to start doing these split screen videos where I was doing it by myself initially, and I will always say that that came from her. But then I kind of molded it eventually to working with other voice actors, and so with me, even though uh, with a certain element of voice acting, maybe like modulating my voice or something, um, I do get a lot of, I guess, praise or comments like on social media and everything. But I know that there are certain areas of voice acting that I still want to get better in. I keep practicing with like commercials, just being authentic and just being me, without sounding like I'm reading or without sounding like I'm trying to sell something. I have to sound like I'm actually talking to a close friend that I trust. Um, so these are things that I constantly want to keep learning and to keep improving on. And I learn in different ways, not just through classes, but through experimentation and being creative, and also interacting with my fellow voice actors as well.
That's fabulous. And you're so spot on when it comes to being truthful, because whether it's voice acting or you're on stage, film, whatever, we can tell, the audience can tell if you're truthful because they won't buy into your character. So kudos for you for making sure that you bring your audience along. Dr. Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Chris, as I mentioned to you just at the beginning of our show, Diane and I are authors of children's books. We have a friend who's also an author of children's books. We know a number of people who are. What's the next step after you publish the book? When do we bring you in, and what does that process look like?
Well, I know I mentioned like Marcelo Chapard earlier, Man of the Voice. He was like the first person to say to me after he took me through different scripts that yes, animation is your niche and things like that, but at the same time, I think you should do children's books. I know you don't want to do audiobooks because they are a lot of work and it's like all these pages and just at times it's not somebody at the other end recording. It's you who's expected to record and send all of this stuff in. But children's books the beautiful thing about them is that they are shorter, but there is just a bit more scope of fun characters as well, where you have characters that can just be very grounded and very genuine, but then some of them that can just be a little bit more, I'd say, just more spritey, happy, joyous, characterful, if that's a word. I don't know. I would say, yeah, after doing a bit of research in terms of turning your children's book into an audiobook, um, you could possibly, I mean, if you had a voice actor in mind, it could be me or somebody else, um, uh, send them just maybe a tiny excerpt from your book, that involves not just the narration parts, but has some characters' dialogue in it as well, and just get them to submit like an audition using that excerpt, and that way you can really gauge if, yeah, this person really understands this book, this story. They will bring my characters to life. They will bring the story to life, and they have to be the kind of voice that people can just keep listening to in their ear, really. So um, yeah, I would say maybe possibly talk to your publisher or someone, research like the next step in terms of getting it to recording, but also keeping somebody in mind. I'd say a voice actor in mind.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned publisher. I know for me, I'm self-published. I work with one of our team members, Red O'Laughlin. DIANN has publishers. So DIANN, you might have a different journey than I would.
I thought you gave really great advice on working on moving into that genre. So, and it turns out that my publishers have their set people they work with in regards to what you need, what sound system, and making, all the technical stuff. So, and also that you gave really great advice on having people audition for that sound. And just because you wrote the book doesn't mean you should read it. you may not have that voice,
Some people naturally seem to have that voice.
Yeah.
I think it's even one of my favorite books is Yes Man by Danny Wallace. And I remember I actually read that entire book on Clubhouse. I challenged myself because even though I knew I didn't want to go into audiobooks, I thought, hey, let me step out of my comfort zone and try that. And because I've heard his audiobook, aside from just reading it, I heard his audiobook. He was the one narrating it. He has such personality. I could just listen to him over and over again. He understands the little emotional nuances when things are serious as well. And yes, it's yeah. So yeah, there's quite a few authors that they don't really feel right about doing it. Like I'm not really like a reader out loud. I can't do it. I need to find someone who can give this do this justice. And so yeah, that's what you do. Put out some sort of casting call, to voice actors, or reach out to one or two voice actors that that you do like the sound of, but you just want to try them with the script, just some of your book.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you. And we were talking a little bit about animation. Tell us about your experience with animation and how can it bring value to the authors out there to take what they've created to another level?
Oh, animation. It's yeah, animation. What can I say? It's just so much fun for a voice actor. It's challenging in different ways because with animation, you can't really sound like you're reading. It's basically taking dialogue like a script and really making it your own. And through my training, I've really learned to I guess keep it grounded, but make it seem like maybe your character is actually doing something while talking, and make it clear who your character is talking to. And so it's more than just, being able to do a crazy voice or a different accent, which I can do. because all of that is nothing without the actual acting, and that's why I took a couple of acting courses first. And so that's the difference between animation and the audiobooks. So maybe turning a book like eventually into an animation, like down the line. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure like of that process, because I haven't experienced that before. But yeah, it would be a really magical thing to see your characters on the page literally being brought to life by animators. I mean, wow, just imagine that feeling as well. You created these, and now it's being continued, and it's going to live on the screen or something, Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yes, I'm very interested in that. I'm all excited just hearing you say that, thinking about little Lady Ella in an animation children's. So,
There you go.
Chris, what are some of your favorite voices to do? I'm sure you get asked this quite often, but for our audience here.
Oh, wow, okay. Some of my favorite voices, I actually did put them down one time, like on a impressions demo when multiple people encouraged me to do it. What I did, like initially, Mickey Mouse is one of my favorites because he's very light and very sprightly, and oh boy, he's so excited about everything, like that, and he wants to welcome everyone,
Elmo is one of my favorite voices to do. Because everyone wants to talk to Elmo.
because Elmo's so cute and he embodies love, as well. And there's also let's see, yeah.
Oh, there's Yago, the parrot from Aladdin. It's so much fun to do because he's so easy to improvise.
Like that as well. Because he has anger issues, and it feels like he's easy to improvise because Gilbert Godfrey is just him being himself. He just says stuff. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. And I think,
Yes, Sir Ian McKellen. Yes, he's one of my favorite voices to do.
as well. Yeah, because he's very
Shakespearean, and
yes, he talks with gusto, and yeah, I just like it. Just aging the voice and just having that wisdom behind you. The same with
David Attenborough, who narrates
in the different documentaries as well. Like
Planet Earth, as we talk about our planet.
in a way. And then I think there was a casting director agent person in the US who even did suggest to me, yeah, maybe you should look at Ray Romano, not too far from, Peter Griffin, from Family Guy, because there was a certain element in my voice, that she heard. And what I started to do when I did this, I talked out my nose and, started speaking with just a little bit more of a, an accent, mumbled. And we don't say everything perfectly, that's, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, something like that. And so those are some of my favorite voices to do. And I do like to dip into the American accent from time to time, which is a welcomed challenge for a Brit. And I practice in lots of different ways. Not to sound cartoony, but just to sound grounded and natural and me, but just a different accent. Yeah.
Wow, bravo. That was incredible.
Thank you.
I love how you just slip into your regular voice. You go from one to the next. It's incredible what a talent you have.
Yeah, seamless. So when you were younger, were you already learning naturally to throw your voice, or when did this all come about?
Well, what I will say in terms of one of my inspirations, even from a child, I will just take a moment to say rest in peace, Robin Williams. I will always say that, because I took it so hard, when he passed away the way he did. But yeah, thinking back to it, he was always one of those counterpoints, for me. Just seeing his, not just his voice modulation, but his character modulation as well. Just how his physicality would change with each voice change that he had and the characters he'd portray. And so I was really fascinated with that, or by that, as a child. That I I found myself trying to work out how the heck does one person do this. I've just in a short space of time, I've just heard him do lots of different voices. He has like taken us around the world, like doing these different accents in his stand up and in movies. Um, and, uh, and I think due to that, it kind of prompted me not to have any shyness when it came to trying it out. Um, when my parents took me to Disneyland when I was really young, yeah, I think there was one attraction where I found myself doing Mickey Mouse for the first time. It was one of those voice sound effects shows, and they had this booth where you could try and redub a cartoon as it was playing,
Oh,
and
fun.
it was just so much fun. My dad was stood behind me, and I heard him chuckling because he was hearing me do a voice for the first time. And he didn't expect Mickey Mouse to come out of me.
I love it.
Yeah. Mm.
Chris, how do you take care of your throat and your voice? And do you have to do any kind of warm up?
Yes. Well, yeah. To be honest, at times, it's not good, but sometimes I do find myself throwing myself into it, almost neglecting warm-ups. But I would advise against it. Do warm-ups when possible, especially when you're doing crazy voices, because voices for uh, animation and video games, they're the most strenuous. And I do want to go into voicing for video games, and that's more intense because it's like you have to do all these different effort sounds. I mean, if you go to my social media, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, that's part of my Linktree link. We recently posted a video where I was acting with somebody, um, redubbing a scene from a video game, and it wasn't just dialogue because there's actually fighting between my character, this male like adventurer, and this female character, who is military trained and she could handle herself, and so it's like lots of tumbling. My character gets kicked in the stomach, he gets elbowed in the face, it's all of this stuff, and we're tumbling together, and we're recording this separately, and I'm doing all of these voices, kind of going down, like that. And so naturally, for something like this, you do need to look after your voice. You need to try and have a certain limitation. You have to sound convincing, but not go too far to the point that you're going to be useless the next day, because you still need to do auditions and things like that. So I drink plenty of water. I keep trying to just remember to keep drinking water. If I know I'm going to be doing auditions and things like that, I try and avoid dairy because something about milk or anything dairy or anything oily, it just makes your tongue heavy. And because microphones, they pick up like everything, um, you can just constantly have this really messy sounding, like, sound in the microphone when you're talking, like lip smacking or something. And uh, and I think there have been one or two occasions where, for whatever reason, maybe it's because there's been that weather change or season change or something, where I know I have a few auditions to do that day, and my voice is croaky. It doesn't really feel up to par, like it will break. I actually have in my studio a nebula in it, and I just basically, well, I keep this clean, but I keep just inhaling, just for like 2 minutes. It's kind of delivering saline solution particles to my vocal cords directly, and it's like it's lubricating things a bit, and I'm able to keep going. So vocal health and making sure you rest as well, very important. Yeah.
What great tips.
Thank
Go
you.
get me a nebulizer.
Right.
I'm even thinking I'm not having any dairy before I do a show. That's a really good point.
Now, I knew about dairy from singing, and the first time I heard about it was in high school and everything. But ever since then, a vocal coach would be like, did you have dairy today? I hear this little frog, and it
Mm.
does do something to you, absolutely. So
It's
yeah,
really
dairy.
interesting as well, yeah, so that's why I mean, I don't really miss dairy much, or anything like that. Maybe last thing at night, I'm okay having some ice cream or something because 'cause I'm done with, auditions, but
Yeah.
just as an extra example, though, I still remember, well, my fiance and I, well, her name's Kirsty, by the way. I'm not going to keep saying my fiance. Well, we're going to go and see like one or two shows, like even towards the end of the year, even Hamilton. We're going to go see that, and I still remember one time we went to see Craig David in concert, and we hadn't been to a concert in a long time. So Kirsty is right next to me, just really loud, just kind of saying like, "On Friday, come the party," like that. And I am there, like, in the crowd that's singing along, and I'm there just kinda going like that, because I'm trying not my best not to scream with everyone else or yell because I don't want to be useless that night. So, it's a trick to, try and get yourself to not to be loud and scream at concerts and everything and just blow your voice out, so, yeah.
Another great tip.
Mm.
Do you find, Chris, that when you're in social situations, you just start slipping into different voices, or are you pretty much yourself?
Yeah, majority of the time I am myself, but, um but sometimes people do request for me to do a voice or Kirsty, if we're around at the neighbors and they have very sweet children, or meeting Kirsty's friends and they have children, and I haven't met these children before, but Kirsty just kind of says, like, "Hey, do you like Elmo? Do you like Donkey from Shrek? Chris, go on, do it," like that, So yeah, or if I'm maybe uh, sharing a story. I found I found that not long ago somebody was asking me about a very important audition I had and how I prepared for it, and I told him I actually got some help with this audition. Preparing for it. It was this audition coach, basically. He's a voice actor veteran called Mark Cashman, and and I described we had never spoken before, and I paid for like a short session with him. We linked up, over video, like that, and I found myself describing it to them, how he said that you just need to have your microphone in this position. He said to me, like, it's like, "Oh, by the way, Chris, that pop shield, right in front of your mic, you don't need that. Not unless you need like a good fly swatter or something. Just have your microphone, maybe about over your third eye, about there, and yeah, just talk underneath it, and that's it." And I described it, and I found myself just doing his voice, and so it just happens sometimes. It's like an involuntary thing. Yeah. Mm.
Brilliant.
It's just a part of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Chris, I want to make sure that we get to your website because you have so much to offer. And I know there are people out there who are interested in hiring you and working with you. So we're here on your website. And where should we go?
Okay. Right. So, right at the top of my website, you can already see bam, those are my voice demos. So you can see what you will get if you need me for animation or voice matching, like voice replacements, commercials, and things like that. So, if you want, you can just continue to scroll down. Yes, you can see like roughly what's on my website and just keep going down there. Each of those demos are downloadable, and you can download my resume there. And yeah, when you go to my website, you can check out all the details about me, as well. Accents I do, things like that. You can keep going, as well. And I guess we'll work down through the page. It's all on one page. So I got a couple of testimonials from people like Rolanda Watts and and a former teacher and a friend who was in a Pixar movie as well. Worked with, just what they say about me. But if you keep going down anyway, we have details about my studio as well that I put together. Yes, and even a raw, unedited sample of what my studio sounds like without all the bells and whistles. So you can see how well I treated it. There's a sound clip there. But if you keep going down from that, that's where you have the video examples. We'll just keep moving. There's the video from hallway, and there's a key to happiness video I did just to showcase me, just genuinely being me. There's an animated short film I did, a California accent for a adrenaline junkie character, which is quite fun. Yeah, and you can see also, carry on down, the voice acting collaboration videos on my YouTube channel and clients I've worked for as well. And then we reach the contact section just below that, where you can email me directly. And you have a contact for my entertainment manager who's based in Florida, and the agency who represents me, who's Access Talent Group in New York. And they're lovely people. For them, I mean, they send me auditions for video games, sometimes animated TV shows, occasionally a feature film, but lots of commercials and things like that. But yeah, you can email me there directly, or you can access any of my socials at the bottom, even my LinkedIn as well. And that's my
really
website.
like your website, and I love the color of it. That color purple is my favorite, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, even though my resume is on there, like downloadable, I'm even currently working on revamping my resume, even the look of that. As well, so watch this space, it will change to look better. So yeah, I'm constantly revamping things. Yeah.
Well, if there's anything you want us to click on or go to, let me know.
Oh, okay, right. Actually, as an example, if you like, yeah, just go straight down to the bottom, and all the way down to the bottom. As an example, here's the YouTube link. Yeah, you see the YouTube symbol? Click on that. Yeah. So if you click on that.
Let's see, will StreamYard take us there? No, we have to actually stop sharing and then reshare. It doesn't work that way for some reason. Okay, we're going to your YouTube channel. Here we are.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, just as an example, if you just at the near the top, if you click on videos.
Anyone in particular?
Oh yeah. You see the top tab where it says videos. You're on home right now, and it says videos at the top there. Yeah, like that. Yeah, we can go to the key to happiness, and this is something where I just shared what I am authentically like and what people would get if they just wanted my natural voice.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can have a look at that. How many of us, I wonder, remember that childhood moment when we experienced happiness as a state of being? That single moment of untarnished joy, that moment when everything in our world, inside and out, was all right. Everything was all right. And now we've become a colony of adults, and everything is wrong all the time. It's as if we're on a quest to get it back. And yet the more we focus on our own personal happiness, the more it eludes us. In fact, it's only when we're otherwise engaged, focused, absorbed, inspired, communicating, learning, discovering, dancing, for heaven's sake, that we experience happiness as a byproduct, a side effect. Oh no. We must not concern ourselves with the pursuit of happiness, but with the happiness of pursuit.
Wow.
So you get crazy character voices, sound alikes, impressions, but then you also get me as well.
That was beautiful. I love the whole meaning. I almost started crying.
Oh, Jacqueline. Okay.
So, Chris and Diane, we're actually at the end of our show. I can't believe it's already over. But, Chris, for people who are out there that are saying, you know what, I want to contact him, what does the process of working with you look like? They reach out to you via email, they go to your website, they follow you. But then what happens after they connect with you directly?
Okay. Well, what I will say, it's always best to email me directly, because it hasn't happened often where people maybe message me, just kind of saying, hey, how much would you charge for me to do this or that, like a side hustle or something. No, just email me. Because I'm constantly checking my email. I get notifications, and just let me know what your project is, what you have in mind, if it's something you want me to audition for, or if it's something you just feel I can do, really. And just let me know as many details as possible, like if it's like a video, that you need narrating, if it's going to be broadcast, or if it's going to just be on maybe YouTube, is it just going to be online, or things like that, and I will send you like a quote, or you can even let me know what your budget is. We can just discuss it, take it from there, really. And just to let you know that it's always my aim to make sure that the client is happy, if you hire me, because I'm here to really take direction and to reach that sound that you want, or possibly surpass that if you're not sure, to be that problem solver for you as well. So reach out to me, and honestly, unless you haven't seen already, I'm kind of fun to work with, so but yeah. But yeah, honestly, reach out to me, and we'll make something wonderful together. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. It's been an absolute pleasure. Would you mind dropping your email address into the chat? We've got your link tree, but this way we could just put the email out there directly. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed having you here today, and I'll be contacting you to talk about Lady Ella and see where we can go.
That would be great,
Absolutely.
Dr. Jacqueline.
Yeah, let's talk
Fantastic.
about that. There
Thank
you
you
go. I
so
put that in the private chat right there.
I've got
Chris,
it
it
right
was an
here.
absolute honor to interview you, and I hope you'll come back and be on our show and let us know. I know there's going to be new projects around the corner, and you're like, oh, I'm so busy now, I don't know what to do.
It takes, honestly, in voiceover, it takes like at least a few years to start getting some traction. But I think it's just about perseverance and bettering yourself, and that's what I'm doing. And yeah, you know what? It's been a pleasure being here. Happy to come back sometime. Really nice meeting you, Diane. Finally speaking to you face to face. And Jacqueline,
Thanks
always a pleasure.
again.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dr.
I'll be in
Jacqueline.
touch, Chris. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye for now.
Bye bye.
Hi, everybody.
I really love that, Diane. And people come in and out of our lives for a reason. I know I had reached out to Chris maybe a year or two ago, but it wasn't the right time for me. But as things change and we learn more, and it's now it's time. So I'm excited to contact him. We need to close out because Twining Tea is waiting for us. So Diane, what's the best way to get in touch with you? And who would you like to contact you?
Yes, I will be happy to share that. But also, Dr. Jacqueline, I thought of you the whole time. All your books should actually be animated in audio for sure. I've always felt like that. A school teacher in me comes out with the kids wanting to, when it's animated and it's a touch screen on the computer, the kids have so much fun making Lady Ella talk, or the zebra, whomever. So yeah, I'll be excited for you to do that. And as far as people reaching out to me, my website, DIANNFLOYDBOEHM. And that's the easiest way.
All right. Well, thank you, Diane, for being here. It's been another fun show. And we didn't even run the sponsorships, so we're going to run them later. My apologies.
No problem. Chris was so, I was just like this the whole time backstage so yeah, it was fabulous. So
it
thank
was
you.
excellent. Thank you very much. Just a quick shout out, especially for Dr. Madeline Chan. Our book is very close to being a bestseller. It hasn't come out yet. I was up all night. We were number 5,000 and 6,000 in different categories for this book. And now we're number 2 and number 4. I don't know where it is now. But if you have an opportunity to pre-order the book, because Dr. Madeline Chan has not yet been an Amazon #1 bestselling author, and I would love that for her. So you can go over to Amazon for that. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Thanks for being with us. Please do subscribe to our channel and reach out to Chris Woodworth. He's very talented. He's here to help you. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.